In the glorious long history of the NBA, it seems that most teams have cultivated superstars. The most typical ones are undoubtedly the Lakers and the Celtics. From Elgin Baylor and Bob Cousy to Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, and then to Kobe and Pierce, superstars seem to have always accompanied the development of the teams. And other teams such as the Heat, the Mavericks, and the Spurs have also had their own glorious moments under the leadership of the superstars they have cultivated. However, there is such a team. In its 20 years since its establishment, most of the time it has been in a weak position, and it has never cultivated a single superstar. It can be called the graveyard of rookies and the cursed place for superstars. This team is the Charlotte Hornets. In this issue, we will combine the Hornets' rookie cultivation model to talk about how they have developed since their establishment and why they can ruin the high draft picks they have selected time and time again. In 2002, the Charlotte-based Team Hornets announced their move from Charlotte to New Orleans and were renamed the New Orleans Hornets. To compensate local Charlotte fans, the NBA officially promised to re-establish a new team in Charlotte to become the 30th NBA team. On February 18th, the investment group led by Robert Johnson, the founder of Black Entertainment Television, obtained team ownership. He became the first black owner in NBA history and major sports league history. By June 2003, the new name of this team was officially determined. Since Charlotte is located in North Carolina, which has a carnivorous animal, this team was named the Charlotte Bobcats. 1 year later, this brand new team officially set sail. At the same time, the Bobcats' long history of ruining rookies also began. The first young player the Bobcats had was center Okafor, who was selected with the second overall pick in the first round of the 2004 draft in the team's first season. In the previous NCAA Finals, Okafor scored 24 points and grabbed 15 rebounds in the whole game, leading the University of Connecticut to win the championship. In front of the Bobcats, the Magic, who had the first overall pick, still took a risk and chose high school player Howard despite the precedent of Kwame Brown. Thus, the Bobcats successfully picked Okafor. Okafor's first season did not disappoint the Bobcats. As the first player selected by the Bobcats through the draft in team history, Okafor got double-double data of 15.1 points and 10.9 rebounds per game in the regular season. He even got double-doubles in 19 consecutive games at one point and steadily got 47 double-doubles throughout the season. He also defeated Howard and successfully won the Rookie of the Year. You should know that the insiders who can average double-doubles in the rookie season are all super insiders like O'Neal, David Robinson, and Morning Before. Just when everyone was envisioning Okafor's bright future, the Bobcats made a wrong decision, which was to let him gain weight. Considering that it was still an era when super insiders like Yao Ming, O'Neal, and Duncan were rampant, the Bobcats were obviously a bit too eager for quick success. In one summer, Okafor gained nearly 20 pounds. Sure enough, in the second year, after only playing 26 games, he was injured due to excessive ankle pressure and finally missed the entire season. Since Okafor entered the NBA after his junior season and was an older rookie, by the time he recovered, he was already 24 years old and missed the best stage of improvement. In the following years with the Bobcats, he never played as outstandingly as in his rookie season again and finally became mediocre. Time came to 2006. The Bobcats announced that North Carolina native and the god of basketball, Jordan, bought a portion of the team's shares and became the team's second largest shareholder. At the same time, Jordan also became the leader of the team's basketball affairs. Jordan's first decision after coming to the team was to go against the opinions of many and select Adam Morrison with the third overall pick before Brandon Roy, Rudy Gay and others in the draft that year. Morrison performed extremely well in the NCAA and was hailed as the next Larry Bird, possessing extremely excellent shooting ability. But like Okafor, he was already 22 years old when he entered the league. Obviously, Jordan misjudged again this time. This white shooter with diabetes is obviously not suitable to be cultivated as the team's core. In his first season in his career, Morrison's shooting percentage was only 37.6%, and even his shooting percentage throughout his career did not exceed 38%. In the pre-season warm-up match of the second season, he suffered a major injury of a torn anterior cruciate ligament in his left knee and missed the entire season. This injury also means that his already mediocre athletic ability was weakened again. Helplessly, the Bobcats could only send him away in the second year. After following the Lakers as a bench player and winning 2 championships, he left the NBA. His career was only 4 years. Then in 2008, the Bobcats started their magical operations again in the draft. In the case that the team already had starting point guard Raymond Felton, who could contribute 14.4 points and 7.4 assists per game on average, the team still selected small guard DJ Augustine, who was 183 centimeters tall and had not shown excellent passing ability with the 9th overall pick. This choice also led the Bobcats to miss out on excellent players such as Ibaka and Batum. At the same time, this decision also made Felton feel that he was not valued by the team. A year later, he rejected the Bobcats' 5-year, $37.5 million contract extension offer and instead accepted a 1-year, $5.5 million contract offered by the Knicks. As for Augustine, the Bobcats still did not maintain patience after he successfully became the team's starter. After his rookie contract expired, they withdrew the qualifying offer and let him go for nothing. Augustine played for 10 teams in his subsequent career. The last time he came into people's view was when he played 20 games briefly for the Lakers in the 2021-22 season. After that, he left the NBA. So why was the Bobcats reluctant to keep Augustine? Because in the 2011 draft, they selected another 183 centimeter tall guard, Kemba Walker, with a 9th overall pick in the first round. This draft, so far, can be said to be the most successful draft in the history of the Bobcats. Walker's first season in his career coincided with a shortened season. The Bobcats had a regular season record of 7 wins and 59 losses. 7 wins were the lowest in NBA history, but Walker did not sink because of this. In the following years, he led the Bobcats to continuous progress. He was selected to the All-Star game 3 times and led the team to the playoffs twice, becoming the most dazzling star in Charlotte. The 2018-19 season was the peak season of Walker's career. That year, he played all 82 regular season games, averaging 25.6 points, 4.4 rebounds and 5.9 assists per game. He even scored a whopping 60 points in a game against the 76ers, creating a career masterpiece. Although he suffered a serious injury after leaving the Hornets and his athletic ability declined significantly, and finally left the NBA quietly in 2023, he is definitely the only player among the Bobcats stars who has lived up to expectations and has a chance to step into the threshold of superstars. So, after finally selecting Walker as the correct answer, how did the Bobcats management further build the team? After suffering the worst record in history, the Bobcats selected MKG with the 2nd overall pick. In that draft, after him were Bradley Beal, the 3rd overall pick, Damian Lillard, the 6th overall pick, Andre Drummond, the 9th overall pick, and others. Yes, once again, the Bobcats unexpectedly made an unexpected choice and once again chose the wrong answer among a bunch of correct answers. MKG, who just won the NCAA championship for Kentucky with AD, has very excellent physical fitness, but his scoring methods are really too scarce. His terrible shooting posture has triggered extensive discussions in the basketball world. To help him improve his scoring methods, team owner Jordan even personally stepped in to give instructions, but it didn't have any effect. And his previously valued defensive ability also didn't meet the team's expectations. So, after playing for 7.5 seasons in Charlotte, the team completely lost confidence in MKG. After he was traded to the Mavericks, he quickly left the NBA. In 2014, through consultations with the New Orleans Hornets, the Bobcats finally changed back to the name Charlotte Hornets. The New Orleans Hornets were then renamed the New Orleans Pelicans. However, this decision did not save the management's draft vision. In 2013, they selected Cody Zeller with the 4th overall pick and missed players like Giannis Antetokounmpo, CJ McCollum, Dennis Schroeder, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. In 2014, in this bumper draft year, they again selected Noah Vonleh with the 9th overall pick in the first round, missing out on players like Zach LaVine, Nikola Jokic, and Jeremy Grant. However, they were not patient in cultivating Vonleh and traded him in the 2nd year. They got Nicholas Batum from the Trailblazers in exchange. Batum happened to be the player they missed in 2008 when they chose Augustine. A wrong choice back then now requires a great price to make up for. In 2015, they did not learn from the lesson of Zeller and once again selected the white insider Frank Kaminsky with mediocre talent with the 9th overall pick. Time came to 2017. The Hornets selected Malik Monk with the 11th overall pick in the first round. In the following 4 years, Monk grew extremely rapidly with the Hornets. In the last year of his rookie contract, he shot a 40% three-point shooting percentage and steadily output 11.7 points with less than 21 minutes of playing time per game. For such a Monk, the choice of the Hornets management was, give up renewing his contract and let him go for nothing. Last season, the 25-year-old Monk was already able to get excellent data of averaging 15.4 points per game with the Kings and ranked second in the selection of the 6th Man of the Year. So, this time the Hornets didn't have a problem with their draft vision, but still couldn't retain their excellent players they had cultivated. In the following years, the Hornets' draft level began to pick up. Except for James Bouknight selected in 2021 who didn't get enough playing time, the other players like LaMelo, Miles Bridges, and PJ Washington all had good performances when playing for the Hornets. However, there is still a certain gap between them and becoming superstars. Looking at the 20-year history of the Hornets, they really lack a bit of luck. Although most of the time they are a tanking team, they have never had the first overall pick. From a hindsight perspective, if they could get the first overall pick in 2012 and select Anthony Davis, then the partnership of AD and Walker would be very much anticipated. However, in addition to the factor of luck, the problems existing in the Hornets management themselves cannot be ignored. This is even a more serious problem. That is, in multiple drafts, they conservatively chose older rookies with limited ceilings. Even if they choose young players, the team lacks the ability to cultivate them and cannot clarify the cultivation ideas to make the best use of their strengths and avoid their weaknesses. If Okafor was not in a hurry to gain weight, then he might have become the next flexible super insider. If MKG entered the league and gave priority to exerting his advantages on the defensive end, perhaps he would at least become a defensive tough guy like Andre Roberson. In the last 2 years, the Hornets have successively selected Brandon Miller and the Frenchman Salon. These 2 new forwards will continue to lead the Hornets forward with the team's core LaMelo in the new season. Whether they will grow into the Hornets' future superstars and get rid of the team's 20-year curse remains to be seen.